Voila! Okay, it's another episode of Screen Time with IS Cinema. And also today we are going to deal with something very important. Alright, so let's go straight to the question. So, you want me to expatiate what I mean by don't write dialogue the same way people talk in real life. Okay, if you don't know what he is talking about, what this question means, okay, fine. You really need to go through my video, my old video on how to write for the screen. Okay, that is where I mentioned that when you are writing your dialogue, don't write dialogue the same way people talk in real life. So this edition will be titled How to Create a Dialogue. The number one thing you need to understand is that writing for the screen is different from writing for the stage. So if you are going to write dialogue for the screen, you want to write dialogue for film, it's not the same way you write dialogue for the stage. For the stage, dialogue is king. Hooray! But in film, dialogue is not king, action is. I want to believe this saying is not alien to your ears. Show, don't tell. That is what happens in movies. In movies, we show, we don't tell. Alright, even if you have to tell, you just have to be brief with your telling. You understand? But show is king.
So this morning was kind of extraordinary. The president walks out of the White House and goes straight over to the media. Who did he choose? Stop to talk to his favorite TV channel, Fox News, and talk he did for 49 minutes on a wide variety of topics, everything from his recent to cabinet members to how many televisions are on Air Force One. And standing there on the lawn, on the White House, a lawn that you and I pay for with our taxes, he lied again and again. And so today we got it all out. So let's go through it. First on.
Hey, my bed,
Instead of an attention, we got a hearing or a sin.
my bedroom.
This was 5 years. About 140 were government officials. That is all according to this 2016 report from the Institute for National Security Strategy. And the whole nine people did, as the president said, are Americans who have the right to freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When later challenged on those comments, the president said it was joking. Next, the Inspector General.
You see, in film, action speaks louder than words. So, you really need to know how to paint your action, but that does not erase the fact that dialogue is very important to your story. When you are creating dialogue for film, make sure your dialogue does not betray suspense. Sometimes you are trying to create suspense in your film, but some dialogue is already giving the suspense away. Another thing is when you are writing dialogue for film, make sure you write between the lines. This is where subtext comes to play. You really need to leave some of your scenes open-ended, not you tying up every scene. Okay, leave some of your scenes open-ended. Like for instance, okay, a character asks another character a question in the previous scene, and in the next scene we are seeing the answer. You understand? For instance, we have two people in the car talking about a robbery. Okay, the first guy is pointing the joke to the second guy and saying the three of us will go for the robbery, and then the other guy is asking, okay, you just mentioned three of us, you and I, who is the third guy? And the next scene we see a guy, the third guy actually driving a truck. And you can also spice up your dialogue with various dialects. Don't just stick to one dialect. I have seen some American films where I had some characters speaking Yoruba, some characters speaking German, some characters speaking Chinese. You understand, when you have all these coming into your scripts, it has a way of beautifying your lines. You understand? So because that is real. In the real world, we have people talking in different dialects. So if you also spice your lines, you spice your dialogue with different dialogue, okay, when you also spice your dialogue up with different dialects, it adds reality to your dialogue. Cut short your dialogue, cut short your lines. The shorter the better. That is it. Okay, but you can spare some monologue, but make sure the long speech you are sparing in the script counts. Characters don't say everything they mean. Some things that they mean should be shown. You understand? Using camera and using some of the other things that tell stories around, okay, to tell the story. You understand? The characters doesn't really need to say everything that they mean. Like, I am sick, I am angry right now. You understand? We just really need to show it. You need to be consistent with your choice of words and be consistent with your dialect. I have seen some movies where a character was shifting in dialect. Okay, he wasn't sticking to a particular dialect. He was shifting in his dialect. So you have to be very, very careful with that. Be consistent with your choice of words for a particular character. Let us know this is how this character talks, and this is how this other character talks, and then maintain that from the beginning to the end, except when a particular change happens to the character in the story that demands that change in the way he talks. You understand? But aside that, you really need to be consistent with your choice of words for different characters. What am I forgetting? Okay, all right. Okay, let's go in. Okay, make sure your characters are distinct. Make sure your characters are not talking the same way. All your characters talking the same way, using the same kind of words. Okay, using the same kind of vocabulary, using the same kind of manner of talking. You understand? It doesn't sound real. You need to make some research. You understand? Go to the streets, listen to how people talk in the coffee room, listen to how people talk at home, listen to how people talk on the street, listen to understand the lingo on the street. You understand? So that sometimes you need to use the street lingo, and then it won't be difficult for you to use. So go to the street and listen to the lingo, and then go around, understand how people talk around you, how lovers talk, you understand, and so many other things. And then watch movies, you understand, and then read books, you understand, and then read history and everything. Okay, so this way you can understand dialogue generally. But when you're writing dialogue for film, you don't write the same way people talk on the street. You understand? You just imagine it like, okay, the same way people talk or I talk on this outside. Can I just bring myself and my voice into a film? It will be boring because we waste words when we talk in real life. You understand? But when you are writing for the words are arranged. You understand? So that's what I mean when I said you don't write the same way people talk in real life. But really, if you give your script to someone and the person is saying that, can I change the lines? Oh, check it. You need to work on your dialogue. Your dialogue is not strong enough. Don't forget that the dialogue reveals who you are in the story. The dialogue reveals who you are in the story. So if you throw the dialogue that the screenwriter has already programmed there for you, to tell the audience who you are, if you throw that away and you use your own words, you cannot get it right. You cannot get it right. You'll be telling a different story. Whatever we have seen already in the story, there is no need putting it in the mouth of another character to say it. And another thing is that do not write dialogue on the nose. On the nose dialogue doesn't work. You understand? On the nose dialogue doesn't work. Stop stating obvious information, and information that is already obvious. We know. Oh, I know. All right, you said it before. I know. I saw it coming. Your dialogue must be smart, compelling, and dramatic. Make sure your dialogue is dramatic. That is what makes it different from how people talk on the street. It helps your film to live long in the viewer's mind. It helps your film to live long in the viewer's mind. Enter late and leave early. Enter a scene late and leave early. Forget about the pleasantries. That is what this particular point means. Okay, y'all come here and let's you starting from, I've seen some movies or some story where you start from the knock. In fact, you start from the driving into the compound and then the knock and then y'all come here and lema Shade ba mi gbomi wá fún y'all coming. Then they put down the water. And lema eku gbogbo ẹ bodanko ara linko àwọn ará oko nko. Cut out the pleasantries. We already saw in the previous scene that this woman will be coming to this place to tell this person something. Why not just cut out the pleasantries and take us straight to the middle of the conversation? I am not saying this should happen in every scene. There are some scenes that really need that. Okay, so you can give us the pleasantry if it's needed and if it's adds something to the story. But if it is not adding anything to the story, then I beg, cut it out. Cut out most characters enter and exit. We don't need it. This is what I do whenever I write my own script. You know, after every scene, make sure you read your lines, read your scene, read your story to your own ears. Read it loud so you can hear them. You know, whenever I read it out, you understand? I hear the lines myself, and whatever is not really sinking in, I know, and I quickly make an adjustment. See you again another time. That's next week for another edition of Screen Time with Ayo Cinema. God bless you.